Why don't we listen? Harnessing creativity from within. Abstract. This article explores why managers often fail to meaningfully incorporate idea generation from frontline employees, despite its potential to drive improvements, efficiencies, and growth. The article examines common barriers, like looking externally for solutions rather than within, prioritizing the status quo, ineffective communication channels, and lack of follow-through on submissions. Specific recommendations are then provided for how leaders can establish clear guidelines, use technology platforms, promptly respond, recognize contributors, and regularly share impact metrics to successfully cultivate a culture where creativity from all levels is encouraged and appreciated. The article showcases for leaders how unlocking untapped potential within can boost competitiveness during times of rapid change. I've witnessed firsthand the untapped potential that exists within every company, if only leaders make the effort to truly listen to those on the front lines. Throughout my career, I've seen far too many cases where managers ignore the innovative ideas brought forth by their own employees, missing out on opportunities for improvement, increased productivity, and new streams of growth. Today, we will explore some of the key reasons why managers often fail to heed the suggestions of their staff, while offering actionable recommendations for how leaders can successfully cultivate a culture where all voices are heard. Looking outward instead of inward. One of the primary reasons cited in research for why managers disregard ideas from below is that they tend to look externally for solutions rather than seeking input internally first. As Pfeffer and Sutton note in their book, The Knowing-Doing Gap, executives are usually avid consumers of advice from thought leaders and consultants, rarely listening carefully to suggestions from people within their own organizations. 2000 p. 213. There seems to be an unconscious bias that the answers must come from prestigious outsiders rather than one's own workforce. However, as anyone who has spent significant time on the front lines knows, it is the employees who interact directly with customers, products, and day-to-day operations who often have the deepest understanding of an organization's strengths and weaknesses. Rather than instantly dismissing ideas as not invented here, forward-thinking leaders make a point to survey the in-house expertise first before looking outside. A prime example comes from Tesla, where CEO Elon Musk has transformed the internal culture into one where anyone is empowered to submit suggestions through a company-wide ideation platform, some of which have led to major process improvements saving millions. Hamel, 2011. By welcoming ideas from within, managers open themselves up to untapped insights while simultaneously strengthening motivation and engagement among staff. Prioritizing the status quo. Another reason managers shy away from employee ideas is an inherent discomfort with change and preference for maintaining the status quo. As human beings, we are naturally averse to uncertainty and prone to justify past decisions, making us resistant to consider alternative viewpoints. Kashnam, 2011. This conservatism is only amplified within large bureaucratic organizations, where process efficiency and predictability are often prioritized over innovation. However, as the competitive landscape evolves at unprecedented speeds, success increasingly depends on an organization's ability to adapt and reinvent itself on an ongoing basis. Clinging to past ways of thinking threatens to leave once cutting-edge companies in the dust. Legendary management thinker Peter Drucker recognized this, stating the greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence it is to act with yesterday's logic. Drucker, 1995, p. 69. Forward-thinking leaders understand that welcoming challenge to the status quo, even from lower levels, is essential to thriving in volatile market conditions. They recognize new ideas as opportunities rather than threats. Faulty communication channels. Another common culprit hampering the free flow of ideas from bottom to top is ineffective communication systems within the organizational structure. As organizations grow in size and complexity, the number of hierarchical layers separating strategic decision-makers from frontline employees proliferates. As a result, valuable suggestions and concerns often get lost, distorted or diluted in translation as they climb the ladder. Beck and Plowman, 2014. Additionally, workers may feel discouraged from sharing opinions if the prevailing culture discourages downward communication or comes across as unreceptive. As research by Detert and Treviot, 2006, revealed, employees are less likely to speak up about issues if management fails to set clear behavioral norms supportive of voice. They also found voice is weakened when supervisors are perceived as unresponsive or when the costs of speaking up seem greater than the benefits. Overcoming these barriers requires active effort from leadership. Establishing convenient platforms for honest two-way sharing, removing cultural stigma, and visibly responding to suggestions helps foster psychological safety where all employees feel their input matters. Some exemplar companies have implemented suggestion boxes, idea databases, and periodic innovative thinking workshops to directly connect frontline insights with strategic decision-making. Uncertainty of implementation. A major frustration cited by employees is the lack of follow-through or transparency after submitting a suggestion. Riesniewski and Dutton, 2001. Without visible action or feedback, workers understandably become cynical about the value of contributing further ideas. This understandably damages morale and motivation over time, since individuals want to see impact from their mental and social investments. To counter this, managers must commit to providing timely, specific responses on all proposals and ensure accountability for selected initiatives. This could involve assigning an implementation task force, developing a project plan with milestones, or designating a manager as the point person responsible for seeing it through. Regular updates help reassure submitters their input was taken seriously, while reinforcing the culture of empowerment. Some companies even offer nominal rewards or recognition for ideas that are greenlit. With diligent follow-through, managers demonstrate the organization truly values innovative thinking from within. Moving from talk to action. Having explored some of the key reasons why frontline suggestions often fall on deaf ears, what specific actions can managers take to cultivate a workplace where creativity from below is loudly heard? Based on my professional experience advising various industries, here are several recommendations. Establish clear guidelines. Communicate clear guidelines and expectations around the idea submission process, including what types of proposals are welcomed and how/when to submit them. Implement listening channels. Implement convenient channels like online idea banks or periodic brainstorming workshops to directly connect managers with diverse frontline perspectives. Respond promptly. Commit to providing swift acknowledgement of fall submissions, plus timely, substantive responses on feasibility within a designated window like 30 days. Track progress, assign submitted initiatives to the relevant teams, and track advancement using project management software to measure progress and refinements over time. Recognize to record celebrations ors, so motivate continual participation mentality toward you patient assign. Share impact statistics. Regularly share KPIs like the number of ideas received, implemented initiatives, and estimated monetary/time savings with all staff to demonstrate the value of their contributions. By adopting these types of operational best practices, leaders signal their authentic desire to learn from people at all levels while nurturing an inclusive culture where each individual feels empowered to positively impact the organization through their diverse perspectives and skills. True innovation begins from within when we make the effort to listen. Conclusion. Despite substantial research demonstrating the immense value to be unlocked through empowering employees as idea generators, many managers still struggle to incorporate grassroots thinking into their strategic decision-making processes. By overlooking frontline staff as valuable resources, leaders miss opportunities to drive improvements, efficiencies, and growth through their first-hand experiences. However, through open communication channels, clear responsiveness protocols, and recognition of contributions, forward-thinking leaders can successfully harness the untapped creativity that exists within every organization's internal talent. In times of relentless change, those who foster a culture of inclusion and continuous learning will be best equipped to adapt and thrive. The choice is ours. Will we listen?